I am so sorry. I was like, how do I get this working? Oh man. Yeah,
Okay, awesome.
yeah. So here we are. We are live.
It took some time, but we did it.
Yeah. We're like an hour late, but it's fine. We had we had a lot
Hey,
of
we're
catching
on,
up to
we're on
do.
we're on we're on Black people time, so I'm gonna shoot some the link out to some buddies. Hopefully they can join up on us, ask us some questions,
Yeah, for sure.
things like that. Cause man, I'm excited. We made it to episode 3. I can't believe it.
Yep.
Is that consistency with content? What is going on?
I'm a mess. I'm gonna be honest with you. I'm a mess.
It's a masterpiece.
Yeah. Turn that mess into a masterpiece.
So funny, man. Well, I'm looking at the title and it seems like we got some really cool stuff we'll be discussing this week. First, let's just kind of do some housekeeping real quick. So Scott, how you been this week, man? Like I saw you did a podcast also earlier, like a few days ago.
Yeah, I did do a podcast. It was out of the blue. Like it was not planned at all. It just happened. A couple people wanted to hop in and they said, "Oh yeah, we want to do it now." And I just thought like, well, I don't really have this in mind for now, but I guess I can find out where it goes. Just to like dabble a little bit on and see what happens.
I was a little hurt.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Not messing. I was like, oh man, Scott did a podcast without me. Darn it.
Yeah, it was pretty random. But some topics were handled that I wanted to cover, but it didn't seem to happen that way. So,
Well, I've got the topics pulled up on my end as well, with some notes that I found pretty interesting about each topic that we'll be discussing, just so that we can kind of have something to go over in detail, just in case some people might want to tune into the VOD later, and they might want to leave a comment on your YouTube channel that you post on as well.
I see. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. What's going on? What is happening? Why?
What's up? You have some technical difficulties on your end?
I am definitely having some technical difficulties on my end.
Uh-oh. You got the PC gremlins?
I do. Hello, Aru. Welcome to the other podcast. Welcome to the podcast of our routine Saturday afternoons or mornings, depending on where you are.
Yeah, that was like a bonus live stream that you did.
Yeah, I did a little bonus podcast because I was kind of feeling generous.
He said, "It seems like y'all want some content, so here you go."
Yeah, you guys really wanted that extra episode, so I was like, sure, why not? Yeah, OBS is it's pulling a prank on me. It said if I had Battletoads for the Wii.
This podcast is a battle, huh?
No. But yeah, I'm doing fine. Yeah, I did do another episode earlier. I was kind of hoping to not cover Bloodstain on that day, but we ended up doing it anyway.
Yeah, I saw that the gameplay was some Castlevania footage that you had. Pretty.
Oh
good.
yeah. It was some Castlevania goodness.
Well, I am ready to get into some gaming news whenever you are.
Oh yeah.
Any order you'd like to go, because there definitely was some interesting stuff that happened this week. With the Sonic movie coming out in America pretty soon, 5 days from now, I can't wait. There's actually some info about Jim Carrey that we'll go into later. And then, big games getting delayed. That's always a common thing in the game industry. The big game that got delayed. Well, it's Breath of the Wild sequel. I kind of figured, honestly, that game coming out this year, I was like highly doubting, to be honest. So I wasn't surprised that Nintendo went ahead and delayed that. We have some like stuff about the Halo TV show, how that's doing. If you've watched this, Scott, your impressions. If not, I'll just go over my take of the first 2 episodes, because I have had a chance to watch both episodes, and as a huge Halo fan myself, I do have plenty to say about it. And we also have some stuff about Gunvolt 3. That's your forte. I can't wait to hear you talk about that. I know you were avid player of the Gunvolt series, and you're actually pretty nice on that. And Sony finally let the cat out of the bag with Project Spartacus, aka the tier system for their new PlayStation Plus update for the subscription service. We'll be covering that as well, and comparing it to Game Pass, of course, because that's its direct competitor at this time, and we'll be definitely going into that. But in terms of like the topics that you have listed, Scott, which one would you like to take a bite out of right now and just go into in detail?
Well, let's see what I have. But first off, I kind of want to talk about the things that happened. I want to talk about the Sonic movie first.
Yeah, I'm down to talk about the Sonic movie first.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that.
I want to talk about the Sonic movie first. So, I'm still excited about Sonic 2, the movie. I mean, it's not out yet, but it is out in some other country. I forgot which one.
Europe. I think Europe has it right now.
Yeah, so be careful. Spoilers are around, but
oh yeah, the spoilers are hot for that movie. I've already gotten spoiled, and I was so livid because it was just like a YouTube recommendation, and someone put a huge spoiler in the thumbnail, and I was like, okay, I guess I got to stay off YouTube for about a week.
Oh man, so we got that Prolifica gaming kind of thing happening.
Yeah, Danica Patrick in Sonic Racing, she got revealed for the movie. No, I'm kidding. But yeah, man, I was actually like super annoyed that I got spoiled this week for the Sonic film. But yeah, I'm still excited to see it. I mean, the feeling of experience what was shown would have been great. I just, it is the internet. This is the era that we live in. You can't really avoid it unless you really like abstain from technology.
Yeah, I'm surrounded by news, but like I'm not surrounded by spoilers. Never mind, I am.
Well, have you been pretty good at keeping away from the spoilers?
For the most part, but there are times when I do end up getting spoiled by something I'm really excited about.
Because gosh, I like from the early reviews that I've seen. Of course, the critics they're not really jiving with it, but that was the same way for the first movie. Honestly, I don't care what the critics think about this film because the audience score was very favorable for the first movie, and I think the first movie was awesome as well. And like just hearing the reviews from some people on Twitter and of course the Sonic community that has got to seen it, is definitely better than the first one. A lot of people are saying that it's way better than the first one, and they can't wait for the third.
I heard. Also, what's up, Pink Rocker 17? Glad to see you here. You saying that you were low key hunting for them spoilers?
No, I wasn't. For shame, Pink Rocker. Making me sound like I was itching from them spoilers.
You gotta do what you gotta do. You just gotta have that need. You gotta get that taste. Like I can't wait anymore. I just gotta have that taste.
I mean, it has been almost 2 years since the last film, but even me, like I wanted to go in as blind as possible, and I didn't want anything to be spoiled. But unfortunately, yeah, it happened.
Fair.
Wow, Big Marker throwing shade in the chat. But yeah, so in terms of like one spoiler. Well, not really a spoiler, but some news relating to Sonic. I guess like for April 1st, Jim Carrey was interviewed by Access Hollywood about the Sonic movie. And this is the thing, Jim Carrey's a comedian.
Yeah.
So I don't know if he's really serious. I mean, in the interview, he said he was fairly serious about retiring from acting. And that begs the question, is he going to still reprise his role as Dr. Eggman, Dr. Robotnik, in the third film?
Well, okay, here's my take on this. So I think Jim Carrey is being serious on the whole retirement thing. I mean, the dude has been acting for longer than I've been alive, honestly. And
yeah, the past 40 years.
Yeah.
That is crazy. Yeah, he's been making movies for over 40 years. And, you know, just kind of reading a quote from Access Hollywood itself, he said that, he says, "I feel like, and this is something you might never hear another celebrity say as long as time exists, I have enough. I've done enough. I am enough." So it's kind of, it comes off just like he's really just done. Like he's already left his mark in the Hollywood scene, and he just kind of wants to go peacefully into the night.
Yeah, it's kind of, honestly, it sounds kind of sad because the person who was here on the last episode was really hoping for Jim Carrey to be in, I think, one of the Batman movies, like the most recent one. I forgot what it's called.
Oh, you're talking about the current Batman film. One of Jim Carrey's friends was actually in that film with Robert Pattinson in them.
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, well, no, it's just my friend wanted Jim Carrey to be there because he's a good actor.
Oh, you want it kind of like Jim Carrey to kind of make a cameo, kind of like to pay like a little bit of homage to the new Riddler and the old Riddler kind of being in the same movie, but Jim Carrey might be a different character entirely.
Yeah, very much so.
That would have been neat. But I'm sure, you know, he was probably still filming Sonic.
I know. I was like, I mean, he's just one person. You can only do so much.
Plus, I don't know, man. Hollywood with them CG effects nowadays, they could have cloned him.
I mean, have you seen the Matrix experience?
I have. That is insane. Like just how the graphics look. It makes me wonder how the games on the PS7 is gonna look. Pink Rocker wants the green suit.
Bring back the green suit.
You want to see Riddler in a skin tight green suit with the acid hair color, the acid pink.
Finally, we have the true likeness of Jim Carrey.
Peak Riddler. That's what Pink Rocker wants in the chat. She wants Peak Riddler to be a cameo for one of the movies. But do you think Jim Carrey's really serious about it? I mean, that's the thing. It's like this news broke on April Fool's Day. So April Fool's Day, I feel like I can't trust anything that I see.
True, but things actually do happen on April Fool's Day, both as jokes and as something serious. So I guess take it with a grain of salt. We'll see it when it actually happens. Kind of thing I have with that mentality.
Yeah, it's like even if you think about it from a realistic standpoint, Jim Carrey is kind of like playing at 5D chess, where he's like, I could make this announcement on April 1st, and people might think it's a joke, but then if it's like serious, they're like, wow, he really got us. So I think it's just time will tell of what's gonna happen with Jim Carrey's overall presence with the third Sonic movie. I mean, Paramount's already greenlit it because they have a lot of faith in Sonic 2. And I think it's going to do well, too. You think it's going to actually make more than the first movie on opening day?
To be honest, personally, I think Jim Carrey is still going to be in the third movie. It's just that it might not be as successful as Sonic 2 because of the whole upbringing of Jim Carrey not being, around for the time being. And it might be true, it might not be true. The depending on the timing of like the actual movie being done, because they did say that they were working on it before Jim Carrey said anything. So maybe he already did his stuff and just said, you know what, I'm good. I'm not gonna do any more movies.
Yeah, because I know that some films that have a sequel that they film the second and the third at the same time.
Yeah.
So that could be the case where they've already gotten a lot of footage for the third movie with Jim Carrey still on set, and the third movie might actually be the end of the Sonic series. I know like there's some people speculating that they might do spin-offs with the other Sonic characters like Tails and Knuckles, and they'll have their own movies. I think that could work. Honestly, I'd be down to watch a Tails film.
I would love to see some Tails stuff. Like, I would like to see that. Tails is like so underrated.
Chaotix. Give us Knuckles Chaotix. I need Vector in all the high definition on screen.
If we had a Knuckles Chaotix, I would be so excited. Finally, we get to see some Charming Bee, Mighty, and freaking Vector.
Yeah, that is a good point that Pink Rocker brought up in the chat too, where even if Jim Carrey wants to retire, he might have signed a contractual agreement with Paramount, just like kind of similar to what Marvel does with their actors, where they agree to be in like a 10-movie deal.
Oh, yeah, that could happen. So maybe that's all that they have right now. It's just do at least like 3 Sonic movies and then move on after the third movie. Kind of like how Sega themselves moved on to like Sonic 3 to freaking like, what was it? Sonic Adventure? Things kind of got weird there.
I think Pink Rocker wants the Chows. Well, I don't know what Chow as the Choas are, but Chows, yeah, I definitely want the Chows to come back. The Chows would be a great thing to bring into the third movie if they don't hint at them at the second.
I think Chows would be something that the third movie would focus on. Because
you think it might bring in like the chaos story?
Yeah. Because the Chows are technically related to chaos, which is kind of weird because it's the same spelling.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
It is the same spelling. It is the same spelling. But a Chaos movie would be awesome. Honestly, they can do any story. Like, they can do SA2, SA1. They can even do, well, time travel is kind of messy. Because I was going to say they could even do, like, the CD story. But usually when time travel gets brought into a movie, they don't really handle it well.
Time traveling movies are awkward.
Yeah, because they just leave you with more questions than answers of why are things happening the way they are. Like, there's a recent time travel movie with Ryan Reynolds where he met his younger self, and that movie was very bad. Yeah, it's called The Adam Project on Netflix, and I definitely would not see that movie in theaters.
Yeah, I've not heard of that movie at all. Not movie, jeez, show.
No, it is a movie. It is a movie. It's a movie on Netflix.
Yikes.
Yeah, you're good. You're not losing any sleep. Don't worry. You're probably better off not watching it, to be completely honest with you.
Dang. I mean, okay, so here's what I think about the Sonic movies, like how they're gonna play them out. This is just my interpretation. So this is my headcanon, okay? So
you gonna give your Sonic movie theory right now?
Yeah, that's right, my Sonic movie theory. So Sonic 1, they kind of wanted to like branch off with their own Sonic 1, but still kind of stick to just the Sonic part. And Sonic 2 is where they kind of snuck in Tails. Well, not sneak in Tails, but like snuck in Knuckles, because Knuckles is playable with the whole Sonic and Knuckles thing on Genesis. So I think that's what they were trying to do with Sonic 2. And maybe with Sonic 3, we'll get like Metal Sonic thrown in there, but also like a little hint of maybe Sonic Adventure as like a little teaser. And that would be like the next coming thing for Sonic. And if they do the whole adventure route, they'll probably mix in 1 and 2 together. Because
yeah, I kind of could see that because they've already combining like elements of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 and Sonic 3 and Knuckles in the second movie.
yeah, that's my interpretation. I haven't even seen the movie, obviously, but that's what I think they're gonna do. Like they're gonna mix in some things from the other games to make it that kind of story.
Yeah, because like the one thing I know for sure is what I want for this movie is I want them to finally show Supersonic. That would be awesome if we do get to see Supersonic. I also either want to see them hint at Metal Sonic or Shadow the Hedgehog at the post-credit scene. Any one of those two would like be super hype, but I think Shadow will probably be the most hype for a post-credit scene, you know, hinting at the next villain of Sonic 3.
I'm cool with either Metal or Shadow, but I personally think if it was Metal Sonic, it probably would be like a separate movie because Metal Sonic, he's just he has to be the first one. To me, he has to be the first one before Shadow.
They can combine both. They can have Metal Sonic and Shadow in one movie. I think they can pull it off. Because, like, you know, what if Metal is like kind of like what they did in Heroes, where Metal becomes an ultimate threat, where it takes the combined force of different Sonic characters and his friends to like defeat him.
True, but it's also like
even though that was the ugliest Metal Sonic design I've ever seen.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
That design was like visual cancer to the eyes. I was like, as long as the music is still bumping, because that song is really great for that battle, for the Metal Sonic battle. But yeah, that was probably one of the worst character designs for a final boss villain that I could have thought of. That was just super ugly.
I'm gonna be fair with you. Sega final boss designs, especially with Sonic, are really inconsistent and kind of awkward.
Yeah, like what the heck is the Time Eater?
That's a good question. I don't know. I still don't know, and it's still a banger of a game. I mean, like it has arms, it floats around, it has a ghost face, and it roars every once in a while.
It has a spooky purple ghost face.
That looks like a homie shot.
Oh gosh, please don't remind me. Every 3 seconds your allies are telling you how to play the game, even though you've already spent like 7 hours of mechanics learning. It's like those RPGs where it's like, oh, you're hour 20 and you're still not out of the tutorial phase.
Yikes. Don't remind me. Don't remind me.
Looks like a homing shot. Well, I mean, since we're talking about Paramount and Sonic, you know, it kind of seems like Paramount's been doing their best to get into the, they want to be the ones to make video game movies and bring them to a wider audience. And they recently tried to do that with another property that I'm a fan of, and they both happen to have one thing in common, which is rings. And we're going to be talking about the Halo TV series that's streaming now on Paramount Plus, and it's currently on its 2nd episode. And this show has gotten a lot of controversy behind it with the producers and some of the people discussing the production of the show, where it was almost like they seemed like they were bragging about not having actually needed to play the games to produce the show, even though I think this flat out saying you don't really think the source material is as important as the other stuff. This kind of brings a bunch of red flags. I've seen the first 2 episodes, and I actually think I'm probably going to be dropping the show from now on. I don't want to waste my time with it. It's not for me. I know it's its own timeline. I can do my best to separate it, but some of the like characterizations and new interpretations of the characters from the game is just, it doesn't vibe with me, so I'm not doing it.
So, okay, so I was gonna ask you, because I'm not too familiar with the Halo series. Like, I know it exists. I know there's lots of fans who love Halo, and I am still overdue on trying to hop into the Halo series. I'm still trying to find the time to fit into that my schedule.
Mm-hmm.
But do you think that the show is too far off from the games, or do you think that it doesn't fit in the universe of Halo?
Well, the TV show is its own universe anyway, so they've already come out and confirmed that the show has no relation to the game's timeline. So I guess that's kind of the silver lining, where we don't have to, like, as diehard fans of Halo, it's not going to affect any of the plot elements from the games itself. But you gotta also understand, like, this is gonna be, like, this is what they kind of want the mass audience to see Halo as. And if they want to have the mass audience see Halo as a slightly above average sci-fi TV show that has really boring moments in dialogue and very spotty CGI and kind of above average action scenes, I don't think it's a good look for Halo personally. Like, I would definitely say if you are interested in getting into the Halo universe, I just say start with the games, as most people that's gonna watch a TV show off a video game should do. Yeah, it's just bad. Like, one of the things that they do in the show is they take off Master Chief's helmet in the first episode. It's almost like they're trying to speed run through so many different plot points that happen over 20 years of games in 1 hour.
Wow. That's wow.
Yeah, it's it's a mess of a TV show. And definitely Paramount wants to try to get their money back because possibly the numbers aren't doing as well as they'd hope, since they actually put the first episode in its entirety on YouTube. So they definitely want to try to get more eyes on the TV show to hopefully get people to go over to Paramount Plus and subscribe. But I honestly think, since it's on YouTube and more people have access to watching the first episode, that they're going to hear a lot more negative opinions than they would hope for, since now that Paramount Plus, the people who would be, reviewing and critiquing the show was those that were subscribers. But now that, it's been kind of, the floodgates have been open for the general public to watch the show, it's just, I think I'm pretty sure you're going to hear maybe like more controversy within the next few weeks on top of the controversy that it's had leading up to the release of the show itself.
Well, at least it's not like another company that kind of is doing bad on a certain show with 4 girls and 4 colors. you may know what I'm talking about, but yeah.
It's does it rhyme with booby?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, it's very sad. It's disappointing. I mean, I had the experience of when I watched episode 2. I watched it with 2 other people. One of them played Halo, but I wouldn't say they're a huge fan. And the other was a complete, never played the games, didn't really know anything about the lore. And interesting enough, they kind of was vibing with the show. They kind of was saying, hey, it's actually not too bad. And I think that's what Paramount is hoping for, is that a lot of people who don't know the games and the like more intricate aspects of the lore would just kind of take it as a TV show and be like, it's okay. It's pretty good. I think I'll keep watching this. But as soon as those fans go over to play the games, they're gonna be like, wow, this story is like bad. it's just not good. it's just not good. It's like you can have your own different interpretation of established fiction, but if you're making it boring and just kind of run of the mill and generic, what is the point? That's what I ask, is what's the point of even making something like this in the first place?
Money.
Like, who is it even for?
Money.
Yeah, money. Even though like every episode costs $10 million to produce, it's funny because you can see where that money's spent, especially when you see the crappy CG. God,
I'm kind of curious. I'm kind of wondering, now that we know how Halo is doing, how do Witcher fans feel about, the show that they got? Because it happened like a few years ago, right?
Yeah, the Witcher TV show I hear is actually pretty good. Even the fans of Witcher think the show's pretty good, because the original fiction of Witcher was a book. I know that much. I never played the games, but I know that The Witcher was a book first, and then the book got adapted into a game, and then the game got adapted into a show. So I'm not sure if The Witcher show follows more of what happens in the book itself, or if it does take elements from the game. Maybe it's like a fusion of them both, and it kind of makes something new. But from what I've heard, people actually enjoy The Witcher TV show. It's gotten 2 seasons, so it's definitely doing something good.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. I do, and I am aware that The Witcher started off as a book. It's probably why he didn't show up in Smash. But
Nintendo couldn't take Jiro off them pages.
Hey, you got me in Soul Calibur at least, right?
Right. It was too much. It was going to be too much of a licensing headache for Nintendo to try to get good old Geralt over into Smash Brothers.
Well, that's
maybe he'll be in Smash Super Duper Ultimate or something like that.
Super Duper Smash D Bros.
Yeah.
We couldn't come up with a new subtitle, so we had to make a new series called Super Duper Smash Bros.
It'd be hilarious if that's actually what they call it. Super Duper Smash Bros. Or we get Kerfuffle.
No, I'm not really comfortable with that name. It's like calling it Razzle Dazzle Bros.
Razzle Dazzle Brothers?
Yeah. And
well, my whole thing with Halo is with the Halo show is, if it's not something you need to hurry up and go out and watch, to be completely honest. You can probably wait until all the episodes air, and if you want to binge it, sure. But even then, it's I'd rather just see this show, like, I don't want to say like it should just be canceled outright. I mean, maybe it should, honestly, but I still feel bad for the people who spent their time, putting together, even if the writing's bad, putting together and spending their time making the show itself. And maybe like they'll be like 3 for 3 trying to listen to feedback and make something better for season 2. Like, who knows? Maybe it becomes more Halo on the second season. But right now, it's just something totally different that I don't really like, and I feel like it doesn't even have the spirit of what Halo is to begin with.
Yeah.
Speaking of 3 for 3 in Halo, one thing about Halo Infinite, and this is another topic, is they finally have an update on what they're going to do for Season 2, and Halo Infinite has its own mess of issues where, for a live service game, it's one of the worst live service games ever.
For Halo Infinite?
Yeah, the game has been out since December.
Yeah.
Officially since December. I mean, it got released early in November, and we haven't really got any substantial updates for almost half a year.
Wow.
Yeah, so we've been playing on the same apps. We've had the same items, and they've even repeated items on sale in the store already.
Wow.
So they're already recycling through for sale items in the cosmetic shop.
Oh no! What are you guys doing? What is this? What is this?
Apparently not enough. That's what they're doing. Yeah, it's a sad time to be a Halo fan, honestly. like I would say that Halo Infinite is probably one of the best Halo games to play, because it is really really fun. But to be completely honest with you, like it being a live service, it's definitely it definitely fell very far from the mark of being a good live service title. Like compared to the most popular ones like Fortnite and whatever else like Warzone and stuff, it just pales in comparison to what Infinite is even offering. Like I'm just I'm really curious how they're gonna try to get people to play the game again when they do finally release new content.
I see. I see. Um, I'm still curious. I kind of still want to play Halo because I do have Infinite installed on my Xbox.
Yeah, you definitely should give it a shot. I think the campaign is really good. I actually enjoyed the story a lot this time around because it did something that 343 has finally kind of mimicked what Bungie used to do in their storytelling, where they told the story that was very easy to follow. You didn't have to do your homework to know what was going on, and it also had a sense of levity. Like there was pretty humorous moments in the dialogue, and the characters weren't all doom and gloom. Like even though there's like serious themes, it still had like a sense of wonder and fun and enjoyment and stuff. So I really liked the story, and it's a little bit of a soft reboot. So if you played the other games, the story will be just that much more enriched by knowing the previous games of what happened. But I think that if you're a new person to Halo, you can play the campaign at Infinite because they're really setting up a brand new threat that they're going to cover for whatever upcoming, like whatever future titles that they may make.
Ooh, exciting.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. I really like the campaign a lot. That's why I can't wait for co-op to finally release whenever that happens.
So does it have local multiplayer or does it just not have multiplayer at all for the campaign?
It doesn't even have local split screen.
Yikes.
Yeah, I know. It's feels bad, man.
Oh
Feels
man.
bad. But in season 2, we'll see how good the new arena map that they were talking about named Catalyst and the new big team battle map called Breaker is gonna be. Like I don't know if that's gonna hold fans over for longer than 3 to 4 weeks, but we'll see. Yeah, but in the Infinite blog, they went over a lot of things in detail. It's a pretty meaty web blog that they posted that if anyone wants to read through, they definitely can.
I see. So I kind of want to move on just a little bit. How would you recommend anyone to kind of move on to the other Halo games before trying out Infinite?
Well, I'd say give at least the previous games a shot, but if you want to just jump ahead and play Infinite since it is the current game, then I definitely recommend doing that. Because if you're just more of like a multiplayer person, you don't have to play the other Halos at all. I would just say pick up Infinite and just try to get good in that one. Because if you go back to the previous games and you try to play the multiplayer through the Master Chief Collection, Infinite is I think it's actually so different compared to the others, where you're gonna get a little bit of issues like trying to go over to Infinite from playing the older ones. Like playing the older ones would probably teach you like the basics and the fundamentals of what Halo's combat loop is. But if you just kind of want to get into a Halo game that's probably one of the best multiplayer experiences right now, minus the crappy live service aspect, then Infinite is good enough, and it's free to play. So there's no barrier of entry. You can just download it on your PC, or if you have an Xbox One or Series X, you can just play it there.
True, very true.
Yeah, so that's kind of like my whole take on the whole Halo stuff right now.
Fortunately, I actually do know another friend who wants to play Halo Infinite with me, but Right now he's out of town.
Hey, well, if you ever want to play, we can party up. You've got someone that has a lot of experience in Halo, so I'll backpack you. You can jump in the backpack. I'll try to do well for all of us.
I'll be your kazooie to your banjo.
Exactly. But I got to talk about one of my games that I'm pretty big on, and you're new to it, and I kind of want to go into one of the games that is more of your specialty, and I'll kind of let you have the floor with Gunvolt 3, right? Did it just get announced, or is this an update, or like what's going on with Gunvolt?
So this is kind of awkward. So for those who are fans of Inti Creates, you guys are well aware that Inti Creates have used to work with Capcom on working games like the Mega Man games, such as Mega Man Zero and the Mega Man ZX games. And they moved on to being their own, I guess, like indie studio. And since they're not really working with Capcom, they're working more closely to the dude who used to work on Mega Man. And he has made Gunvolt. Ignore the other games. Okay, never mind. Yeah, just he made Gunvolt, and he made the latest entry to the Gunvolt series known as Azure Striker Gunvolt 3. And not today, but yesterday they recently announced their release date, which is happening in July. And I'm really excited because this game has been in development for, I think, 3 years. It's pretty long.
Is there like any major new mechanics that they're introducing in Gunvolt 3 that might have attributed to the longer than normal development cycle, or do you think they just got hit with that COVID development stuff?
Well, for sure COVID actually has impacted their development cycle, or development process, I mean. Because they were pretty much like on the money on their releases. Like they had the Galgun games, their Blaster Master series, their what else do they make? They made a lot. And they've also been partnering with other indie games as well, such as what's their name? I actually don't know their name, but I know the name of the game, which is Bloodstained. Also, thank you for the follow, Pink Rocker 17. You're awesome.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So Inti Creates, they are very diverse in their platforming and designs.
Mm-hmm.
So in the background, they help with a lot of indie games that deal with like platforming and difficulty curves and all that stuff.
Yeah, like it seems like a lot of their games are very fast-paced, like fast-paced action platformers, right?
That would be correct, yeah.
Like definitely for the hardcore, and not for the faint of heart.
Yeah.
I was looking at a Gunvolt gameplay, and I was like, I don't even know where to begin with this.
It has a very charming storyline too, so I'm really excited because I want to know what they're going to go with for Gunvolt 3, because it's been a while since we heard anything about Gunvolt, and besides the spin-off series Limited to Avenger X, which is a spin-off that they made for the game to wait for the next Gunvolt game.
Give you something to kind of chew on before the mainline series.
Yeah, weirdly enough, they made 2 whole games before Gunvolt 3. So I'm like, where's my Gunvolt 3 if you guys are making this spin-off?
Remember when Sonic used to do that? Oh, good times.
I mean, Atlas is kind of they're kind of getting their money's worth with Persona.
Oh, definitely.
I mean,
they just released Ultimax again, so I still have to purchase that. And there's another fighting game that just had that I'm looking forward to, which is DNF Duel, and the open beta is live right now.
Yeah, it's live right now. They just went live yesterday. So it's open for people who have, I believe, PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5. Have you
touched DNF Duel?
I've played the previous beta, just not this one. They added in, I think, just one new character.
The ghost guy.
Yep, Ghost Blade.
The ghost blade. Yeah.
Yeah.
Spooky swordy.
Spooky swordy. I kind of find myself to be more of a, what's his name, grappler main. I kind of.
So you're playing with grappler?
I kind of like the grappler. Yeah.
Yeah, I love grappler too. He's just hilarious. Like I know those grappler characters are always super funny to me for some reason. I and big body characters like Jesus Christ in the game. I love playing with him.
Oh yes, Crusader.
Holy Man. Yeah, Battle Jesus is definitely awesome. I love playing with him.
Yeah, that guy. I think he had like a very surefire combo that just like stops everything what you're doing, and he just takes you to town. He has like this little barrier, and once he buffs himself, it's kind of inescapable because he'll just smash you with his hammer.
Is it gonna be a day one for you?
No. Just because like there's already so much on my plate. Still a lot on my plate.
Is Gunvolt 3 gonna be a day one?
I want to so badly. It's probably gonna be a yes for me. I'm too spoiled. I'm too spoiled on that Gunvolt goodness.
So, would you recommend just going in the natural order of release if you want to get into Gunvolt?
If you're new to Gunvolt, it's highly recommended that you start with the first one. There is a striker pack that includes both the first and the second games with enhancements. So, like, if you wanted to, you can play the striker pack. I would suggest getting the Switch version since it has the amiibo functionality that includes Shovel Knight.
And Shovel Knight in Gunvolt?
Yeah, Shovel Knight is in Gunvolt too.
Dang.
I had to make sure I said that right.
That man is getting around. He was in Ukulele, like as a cameo. Like what?
Yeah, he's everywhere. He's really everywhere.
He's like the indie game mascot.
He kind of is. I think he deserves it, honestly.
What about the guy that like the jump man, the jump knight?
Jump Knight.
He got the meaty legs, bro.
Who?
You never heard of Jump Knight?
No, I haven't actually.
Oh man, Jump Knight it's awesome.
Is it like this vertical screen where like there's a dude just jumping?
It's a vertical side scroller.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jump Knight is pretty good too. I love like the simplistic indie games that are just really addictive to play. It definitely gives me like that vibe of Super Meat Boy and a little bit of like Celeste in terms of just how fun and quick you can get in and out of a level if you want to keep retrying things and you want to go for like better times and whatnot.
Yeah, I've seen that game. I didn't look too much into it, but I just remember like seeing some like, you know, some YouTubers who I watched just play this night, just jumping around and them failing on it. I was like, what's going on here?
Respond. little MGS2 humor. Sorry, couldn't resist.
Oh man.
So Gunvolt 3 is coming out this summer, right?
It's coming out this summer. I recommended that you guys play the first game, play the Azure Striker 1 first. In Japan it's called Arm Blue, but you get the gist of it. I think it's really cool. Ignore the anime. It was an OVA, and I think it was like their first time trying to make a proper anime. So ignore it. I would highly ignore it. It was only to promote the game. The game is great. You have to, but if you want like a true ending, you have to collect these. I guess these MacGuffins, you would so call them, and you get superpowers in a very Sonic-y fashion without the flying part.
So they're Gunvolt emeralds or something? They're equivalent to the emeralds, or
it's pretty much equivalent to the emeralds, except without the needs of finding a special stage.
And that's from the anime?
No, it's not from the anime. Gunvolt is strictly a game, but it has an anime OVA
Yeah.
to promote the game.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you know, like how like some shows, some movies, and not movies, but like some
Yeah,
shows.
they'll have just like a specifically made extra, like extra like multimedia thing just to kind of like promote the game itself. Kind of like how Dragon Ball Super is just a promotion. The Super Dragon Ball Super is just a promotional anime to promote the card game.
Oh right, the world mission or whatever it's called.
Yeah, that super wacky,
Yeah.
super insane, wacky fan fiction version of Dragon Ball.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That really threw me off. Like, as soon as I saw like 2 Gokus, I was like, "What?"
Yeah, there might even be 3 Gokus now. Like,
Yeah,
yeah. You got Limit Breaker forms. You have Broly Super Saiyan 4, Vegito Super Saiyan 4. A lot of fan servicey stuff. Like, some of it is just cool to just look at, but it's just wow. I don't take the promotional anime seriously, so I think I know where you're coming from with Gunvolt, the promotional anime. Like, you can watch it if you want, but you don't absolutely have to.
I mean, like it brings some of it to attention. Like it adds some of the origins of like where the characters come from to the Gunvolt series, but honestly, all they did was just bunch in the stuff that people already knew about Gunvolt, like the game itself, and stuff from the audio drama that's only in Japanese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so they have this Japanese only, hey, this is canon kind of stuff, content.
Well, I'll probably give Gunvolt a look at. I mean, I've already got a huge backlog like every other gamer has. So whenever I have the chance, I'll look into it. But I think they actually have a pretty decent sale right now on most storefronts.
So I believe the third game is not actually being made by Keiji Inafune. It's being made by a speedrunner. The level designer is being made by a speedrunner who used to do.
Think that might be it might be too hard then?
No, I don't think it's hard at all. In fact, when they were doing the spin-offs for the Gunvolt games, which was Luminous Avenger, which is a weird name, by the way.
It's an Avenger of Light.
That's what he think he is, but dude is clouded in his own imagination. But so what they did with Luminous Avenger X is you can kind of tell when you're playing throughout the series that it feels a little bit easier, because with the second game, I breezed through the entire campaign in like a few hours, and then it threw a freaking rock at me saying, "Hey, well, you think this game is easy? Now try hard mode." And there's a hard mode, and I was like, "Wow, what?"
And the hard mode definitely kicked your butt.
It's so weird. It's so bizarre, but I like it. It's just when I thought they were actually like letting things be easy, because oh yeah, you know, these mechanics are hard to grasp because, you know, you're playing a Mega Man-esque game. No, they said, yeah, this is easy for you, but since we decided to implement this hidden hard mode, here you go. Now figure out the game for yourself without everything that you grabbed earlier.
Wow.
Yeah.
You really just threw a wrench in there, huh?
Yeah.
That's cool.
This one is probably like the hardest hard mode that they made.
Dang.
Yeah, I hate it, but I also love it. And they asked,
because like it reminds me of Mega Man, like the Mega Man Zero series. And if you said Keiji Inafune had a hand in that, then I can see now why it's difficult. Because that's kind of like one of the things about Gunvolt is just upon appearances, I was like, oh man, this reminds me of the Zero games, and I did enjoy playing the Zero games, but they had a difficulty of their own.
well, Personally, to me, playing the Gunvolt games is more like a game of skill and memory, because there's a lot of patterns that you have to be familiar with for like the enemies and the levels, and obviously the bosses too.
Mm-hmm.
But
well, I mean, that sounds just like Inifune's MO. It's kind of like his design philosophy when it came to the Mega Man games. A bunch of like pattern recognition for the boss fights.
yeah,
Do they also does it also share like the elemental weapons?
there is an elemental aspect to it, but that's more towards the Luminous Avenger games.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're trying to find like that Mega Man feel of a game, you should play the Luminous Avenger X games and Ezra Striker Gunvolt 2, because you also play as that character.
Oh, okay. So if I want to get more of like classic Mega Man or Mega Man X, then try out the Luminous Avenger games.
Yeah.
Okay, I have to look into that, because like the last Mega Man game was just Mega Man 11, and that's the last one that they released. Like I really hope one of these days we can finally get Legends to be remastered or something. I don't know why that game's just in purgatory.
Yeah, I would have liked to see some Mega Man Legends 3.
Oh, we can dream.
We can dream.
We can dream, man. I would love some Legend stuff.
But yeah,
is there anything else, Scott, that you have that you want to cover in Gunvolt 3, or like any new mechanics or stuff like that, or?
So they introduced a new character. I forgot her name. It's something related to her sword. But she has a pet dog, which I'm really excited for, because we never see pets in our games. And there's another new mechanic that they threw in there, is that you can switch between characters
on the fly.
On the fly, because that's what was shown in the trailer.
Oh, that's sick.
And I'm really curious how the story is going to play out, because they said in the trailer like, oh yeah, this character shows up as an illusion. And I'm like, how? Because these stories, they follow through whatever happens in the true ending of these games. So whatever happened, and we don't know. So even to like veterans of Gunvolt, we don't know what's still happening. Like, we know that something is happening and it's big, but we don't know what actually is happening.
Is the story pretty easy to follow?
It's straightforward. It's just that like what happens next is something we don't know about.
Okay. So keeping the Gunvolt community on its toes.
Yeah, it keeps us on its toes. It's not like a Kingdom Hearts kind of thing where, oh yeah, well this guy is actually the
same guy but different.
yeah, it's not like that. It's no Kingdom Hearts, that's for sure.
I think that is a compliment that any developer wants to hear about their story. It's not Kingdom Hearts. Don't worry, KH fans. We love you. I'm a KH fan too. I love Kingdom Hearts. It's just one of those stories that it's like so convoluted, where you find a bit of charm in how over the top it is.
I don't know, but to me, it's worth it. The payoff is great.
Yeah, especially like the Kingdom Hearts 3 DLC, like that. Like,
yeah,
that's like really fan servicey in a good way.
Oh, it was so good. It was so
Playable
good.
Kyrie, my guy.
For like one fight, but still so good.
It's something. We'll take it.
Yeah.
We'll take it square. Thank you. So Gunvolt 3.
Yeah,
new character, new mechanic.
New mechanics.
Animal buddy.
Yeah, we get an animal buddy.
Oh yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to see are you gonna stream it? Are you gonna review it?
I'm gonna stream it for sure. I hope that they add in DLC, because lately they've been adding in DLC. They even like added in that's what they were doing with Luminous Avenger X2. They added in DLC characters from other games. They added in a guest character from another indie game that I'm not too sure about, but it had to do with some girl with a sword. Another one was their own series, the Blaster Master series, as a boss. All these main characters from their games as an actual boss, which I kind of find interesting. And the recent one that they just announced was the girl from Gunvolt 3 as a boss. I'm like, you made it. I mean, this is very Gunvolt-esque that they usually do, but still.
It's like par for the course.
Yeah, but that's all I have for Gunvolt 3.
Well, I'm. You definitely made me kind of want to look into the other games. Maybe I will have to bite the bullet and just whip out the wallet and get me the first two to try it out.
Uh,
Yeah, because
can
I just finally platinumed Horizon Zero Dawn, so I'm looking for a lot more bite-sized experiences compared to that chunk of a game. Because I was thinking about getting Elden Ring, and I was like, do I really want to jump back into another 100-hour plus video game right now?
I was gonna ask you, would you prefer like would you like to know like what version I would prefer you to play it on or something for Gunvolt?
Yeah, if it still has like the same narrative, like
Yeah.
story aspect, and just one version is more quality of life, I'm down.
Uh, so some of them are a bit different in terms of quality of life things. So for example, I there's a hidden mode called Christmas mode in the first
hmm
Gunvolt, and on PC it had two editions of that Christmas mode, but it is also accessible in the console versions, but it's only I think the 2014 edition of Christmas mode. Like I
Oh,
said,
so it's a little outdated compared to what PC offers.
yes and no, because PC like didn't get any updates until like after the PlayStation 4 port came out. So
Mm.
now the PC port is up to date, but it's only for Gunvolt 1. Gunvolt 2, I can't really tell you because I haven't been able to play it on Steam. It is out on PC, but it can't read my input, so I can't play it.
So for the console version, is it available on Xbox?
Uh Only the spin-offs are available on Xbox.
But Gunvolt isn't on Xbox.
No.
Let me just double check the store because I definitely would like to pat my achievements.
It's on PlayStation, it's on Switch, and it's on PC. But on PC it's separate. Plus you have more modes on PC.
Gunvolt for Xbox. It's funny. I type in Gunvolt for Xbox and I just get Peggy.
Peggy.
Peggle. Peggle. I'm like, what is this?
As far as I recall, there's only Luminous Avenger X for coming for Xbox, and that's already out. Both X1 and 2.
Because the only game I see is like Blaster Master Zero.
Blaster Master Zero is there, yes. The whole trilogy is there.
Yeah, so Blaster Master Zeros is on the Xbox Game Store. So it'll probably be more than likely have to get Gunvolt to experience Gunvolt is either on the Switch or PlayStation.
If you really want to have your achievements, or your trophies, I would say in this case, I guess you can go for the PlayStation version. But you won't.
Yeah, because I do see the Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger IX2.
Yeah. If you really want to, you can go for the PlayStation version, which you get all the access to the content from the first and second games, but you don't get access to Shovel Knight. So if you want your broken goodness,
I don't get the Shovel Boy.
you don't get the Shovel Boy because he was only accessible through the amiibo.
Damn.
Yeah, and only Nintendo has that. And Shovel Knight breaks the game. So if you really want to, I'm just letting
He
you.
really does.
Yeah, Shovel Knight does break the game. That in my case, and I play a lot of Gunvolt, so like I always have that that Shovel Knight thing on main like all the time.
That's funny. Shovel Knight would just pop up in your game and just break it. He's not meant. He's not from this universe. He just destroys it. So then Gunvolt Chronicles Luminous Avenger, like that's not a collection, is it? It's like an entirely new game.
It's an entirely different game. It's its own game. It's a spin-off. It's more of a what if scenario.
Hmm.
Um, because like you said, it is like one of those X and Zero versus kind of type situations.
Yeah,
Uh,
cause I'm kind of reading the description right now on the store, and it's mentioning how it's set in a parallel world
yeah,
compared to like the main game. So, okay, so this is kind of just like a different. It's in the same like universe or like the same gameplay, but with just like a new cast of characters.
yes, it is.
Okay,
Because
cool.
yeah, the first game is set in the kind of like a parallel universe, different timeline kind of thing. The second game is a different universe and somewhere else, pretty much throughout the entirety of the second game. I honestly I find it really funny how they did the story for the second game because it's just, hey, here's the second game now, and it actually has English voice acting featuring Egoraptor, and I was like, hey, that's pretty dope. You know, I'm kind of familiar with some of these voice actors, and then out of nowhere, by the way, guys, we also have this. We also have just the random tower, and that's the story of the game. Like the rest of the story revolves around that tower. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess I better get down to business then.
Well, I will be checking that out when uh when I have the time, because I'm like trying to find out the next game that I want to pick up, because I like Horizon kind of burned me out for a little bit.
Yeah. Well, these are very speedster kind of like games, so if you want to go really fast, this would be that kind of thing.
All right.
If you're itching for that speediness,
Yeah, I definitely am looking for something like smaller to digest.
yeah, then I suggest that would be kind of like your go-to for the moment.
Sweet.
Yeah. So moving on, we have
We got more updates for
yeah.
things. So,
So we have
we have like the PlayStation. Want to talk about PlayStation?
yeah, the PlayStation thing. So Spartacus is now PlayStation Plus.
Plus,
Still.
it's PlayStation Plus in a way.
Yeah. I have a question for you. So quick question. Do you think that this is good or no?
I mean, it's an additional service. So if you already are paying for PlayStation Plus, you're still going to get the 2 free games a month. You're still going to get the discounts that come with that, the cloud storage, and of course, all of the console manufacturers now have gated off online play behind a paywall, which sucks. So that would just be called PlayStation Plus Essentials. So you'll still have all the same stuff you have with your membership, but what this update to PlayStation Plus is just it's 2 additional tiers if you want to upgrade your membership, and they unlock a few more additional benefits for you. And just kind of going down the list. So we got PlayStation Plus Essentials, which is pretty much the same thing that everybody has right now.
Mm-hmm.
And then in June, consumers will have an opportunity to purchase either PlayStation Extra or PlayStation Premium. So for the prices that I'm going to list out are based off the US. On PlayStation's official blog, you can see the pricing for Europe, the United Kingdom, and Japan, if you're curious. But right now, for PlayStation Plus Essential, or the one that we all have right now, it's $10 a month, $25 quarterly, and $60 a year. But if you want to upgrade to PlayStation Plus Extra, you'll add up to 400 games from PS4 and PS5. So you'll get PS4 and PS5 games and some of the blockbuster hits from PlayStation Studios. That's like what they say. So their first party titles and third party partners, you'll get some of those games as well. So what I'm thinking is a lot of the games that people got via the PlayStation exclusives page on their Plus membership is going to go into this new premium structure. And then if you upgrade to the highest tier, which is premium, then you get access to Sony's classic catalog of games. So PS1, PS2, and PS3, which sadly is still being emulated via cloud streaming. So you won't be able to play the PS3 games natively on your console, because even now Sony is too cheap to want to invest in trying to develop their own emulator like Xbox did for 360 and OG Xbox games on the Xbox. So that's pretty interesting. They said that like you'll get up to 340 classic games. They don't only specifically list which titles they will be. I'm assuming that a lot of the classic games that you can purchase now on the store would be bundled into this, and just kind of give you like how much more it is. If you were to go to PlayStation Plus Extra, it's like $5 more than the current subscription, and it's about $30 more for the year. So you got 15, 40, and 100 for the PlayStation Plus Extra. And in Premium, you can pretty much just like double the price of what you're currently paying for your current subscription. So $17.99 a month, $49.99 for every 3 months or quarterly, and then $120 for the whole year. That's one thing I wish Xbox did offer for Game Pass, is a yearly model, because I'd rather just pay up my Game Pass for the whole year. But hopefully, if this does catch on, Microsoft will, react to that and offer that as another means to pay for your service.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
But I don't think it's inherently bad, because it is just like an extra thing you can get if you really want it. But in terms of like bad when compared to Game Pass, I think it is lackluster. It is pretty bad compared to Game Pass.
I was about to ask you, like, it sounds like you don't like it.
Well, it's not like I don't like it. It's just I'm not gonna buy it because, when it comes to like the PS4 and PS5 games,
mm-hmm.
that would be added into the extra stuff. Like the thing that that Xbox Game Pass has as a selling point is that you get their first party games day and date. So the same day that it comes out on for people to purchase, you also get it the same time on your Game Pass subscription. Sony, as of now, has not committed to following the same model. So it's like, why do I want to pay an additional cost for just more PS4 and PS5 games that I might already have owned? You know what I mean? Like if I already own like most of the games that are going to be added into the subscription, there's no real incentive for me to purchase it. And the whole, even like the premium one where you get some of the older games, we don't know what that catalog is, and PS3 is still being emulated, so it's not really like you get to play them all fully, backwards compatible. It just kind of seems like a half measure to just bundle PS3 in there somehow. And for like the OG PlayStation and PSP and PS2 and PS4 games, like again, how many classic games are they? And are a lot of the fan favorite ones even going to be there? Because we know, like it or not, there's the reality of just licensing old games, especially since a lot of publishers nowadays would just rather re-release a game or remake a game than just offer the old game again on the store.
Yeah. So I was thinking, like, this is kind of like a Nintendo move that Sony is doing with the whole expansion pack, because it is pretty much what you're paying for with this premium edition is you're paying for just like the expansion pack where Nintendo added in N64 and Genesis games, please someone pay attention to the Genesis part of the deal, because really no one's not doing that. so, sorry, I just had to address the elephant in the room there for Nintendo's sake. But like PlayStation, like they already have their PS1, not really their PS1 library, but like some of their PS2 games on PlayStation 5, and it kind of sucks right at the moment. So I'm glad that they updated, quote unquote, what they said. We still don't know how that's gonna perform, and we also don't know how PS1 games are gonna perform. Hopefully, it's gonna be 1-to-1.
Yeah, that's the thing too, is they didn't really go into any detail of whether or not the classic games are going to benefit from better hardware. Like, are they going to do what's similar with Xbox does, where older games can kind of get like a huge performance boost? Either they can be up-res to 4K, or they can run at higher frame rates than what they're originally intended. One of the best things that's happened, for me as a Sonic fan, is being able to play some of the catalog that Sega released, like Unleashed and stuff, at 60 frames instead of the original 30. I do wish it did get a resolution bump, but hey, you take what you can, unless you're gonna emulate it on PC. Another thing too is, Generations, they up-res that to 4K, which is awesome. It's 4K and 60, so those games that came out on 360 and PS3 didn't run like that originally. Just having that as an option is cool.
Yeah. Yeah. That's kind of a downer for PlayStation's sake, like, because I really do enjoy how Xbox is doing their Game Pass thing, because it includes all that stuff already. You already have the backwards compatibility with 360 and original Xbox titles, like, on the go from Game Pass. And if you wanted to play other games that are from the compatibility list, then you have a good list, even though it could have been better. But like you said before, it could have been like licensing and stuff like that, which I do believe that's what they come to the ends with for that kind of category for backwards compatibility. Because obviously a lot of people wanted like Jet Set Radio Future, because it's a great game. But they did say like, oh yeah, we have licensing issues that we weren't able to bring in our old games onto the console. We would have loved to add more, but we can't.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why like some people were saying like, we need to get these other publishers, these other people who made these games, to get like a new kind of legacy collection to work on these modern generation consoles.
Yeah, like a part of me kind of wishes like the ESA would come together and at least like try to make some form of like standard that all the developers in the industry can agree on, where it's like, look, we're at least going to make something to where people can play these old games if they really want to. Like PlayStation didn't they didn't even like specify if whether you could, let's just say, pop in a PS1 or PS2 disc, and will it do it like the Xbox? What Xbox does is where it'll download the file on your console, so it'll kind of just be like an install disc that gives you access to the license to play the game.
Yeah.
And then like PlayStation Premium, from what I'm reading, and if I'm reading this incorrectly, someone can definitely correct me in the comments, is it seems like that will be the only way you can also play your games on PC. So you're going to be paying double the price for a year and per month to have access to your catalog also on PC. While Game Pass is just Game Pass Ultimate for $14.99, and you get all the benefits of playing Game Pass on console as well as playing on PC.
Yeah, that's a pretty bad deal for PlayStation in comparison to Xbox, what they offer, because you can already stream those games on PC.
Heck, yeah, and then that's where, and like, only the premium one is where you unlocked time limited game trials. While on Xbox, you can just play whatever game. As long as when you have Game Pass, you can like cloud stream it then and there. It's not locked behind another tier.
Actually, hold on. Okay, so I realized I made a mistake in my statement recently. So, Xbox does allow you to stream games, but you can only stream up to Xbox One and Xbox Series X games. Because if you try to do something like Xbox, original Xbox or 360 games, you cannot stream it. Because I tried doing that on mobile.
Yeah, but the thing, like, to kind of like be fair to Xbox, and technically, I know it's been like forever, but technically it's still beta for the streaming.
Yeah, but I brought it up because like that could be the same case that that PlayStation might do. You know, they might say, "Oh yeah, well we're gonna bring in, you know, classic PlayStation 1, PS2, PSP games right on the fly for you guys to play," but then they'll also say something like, "Oh yeah, you can't stream it on your PlayStation, what's it called, PlayStation Network app."
Yeah, you can't do it on mobile. So I'm reading this right now on the official blog.
Mm-hmm.
So on the PlayStation Plus premium benefits, they mentioned that it does offer cloud streaming, and you'll have access to PS1, PS2, PSP, PS4, and it will be offered, and you can play it on PlayStation Now, where it's currently available, which is PS4, PS5, some PS5, and PC. And then after, so you'll be able to stream on PS4, PS5, and PC the classic games, but that's only with the premium tier. And I think that's what makes this PlayStation Plus competitor to Game Pass a bit more like convoluted, is you have to kind of look at like a chart
Yeah,
kind of understand what you're getting.
There's a lot to boil down on this.
Yeah, well, Xbox is just you have Xbox Live, which gives you access to online to play games, and some discounts and free games, and then you just have Xbox Game Pass, and you're like, okay, Xbox Game Pass, it just gives me everything that comes with Game Pass on console, and then you're like, Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, it gives me everything on with Game Pass on console and PC. So it's just simple to digest. It's not like, oh, Xbox Game Pass, it gives you only access to like 360 and OG Xbox games, and then you have Xbox Game Pass Ultimate. It's like, okay, now you just have access to Series X games, and it's just there's more details that you have to comb through with Sony's service compared to Xbox's.
It gives me another question now that you mention it, but does that mean that with this subscription service that they're bringing up, does that mean that we're gonna get deals with this? Because Xbox Game Pass does that. You know, the games that you have access to, like through Game Pass, is automatically on a deal if you want to buy it before it's off the list.
Well, yeah, because the tiers stack up. So the higher tier you get, you'll still get the base discount with PlayStation Plus, because PlayStation Plus does give you a discount on certain store items. So the tiers, they scale up. So the higher tier you get everything included with the previous one. So if you just want every single thing, where you want new releases from PS4 and PS5 as well as classic games, then you want the premium. But if you're whatever about classic games, but you want to play like newer titles that might appear on the service, then you want the extra, because you'll get PS5 and PS4 games. So they're really like, it's so weird how I mean, I guess back compat is more of a luxury that people want to go back and play the old games. That's how Sony sees it. So they gated classic games behind their highest tier.
That's not how I would do things, but you know, that's it kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, they should have just had two tiers: the basic one that everyone has, and just give everybody everything. You know, just with the next one.
I would agree, but it kind of also means that things that you used to have for PlayStation Plus, you're now limited.
Because that's the thing too. It's like they didn't even answer the question, like, can we still purchase like the PS1, PS2 classics individually, or are they all going to migrate into the subscription service?
Yeah, you got the question right on my head. That's what I was gonna say next. Like, Yeah, does this mean that like we get to buy them individually? Does this mean that, you know, is it gonna be like a whole Nintendo thing where like they're just there and, you know, as long as you have the servers you can play them?
Yeah, because it'd be awesome if Nintendo did offer with the NSO expansion where you get access to the N64 games, but if you want to purchase the N64 games by themselves, then you can.
Yeah. Hopefully they don't do like, oh yeah, you can only buy these before March 31st.
Yeah, the Nintendo flash sale, the
Yeah.
limited sale that Nintendo had. Yeah, I mean, the thing too, like in the blog, Sony just say they're gonna cover more details at a later date, but it's like, why are we still waiting for these details when you said you're gonna launch the service in June or like summer, which is fairly soon. So I don't know why you just couldn't go over everything here and now.
So just a small segue. I wanted to mention something I saw earlier. It was on Twitter, and it was from Xbox, and I think they accidentally leaked something.
Uh-oh.
So I think it has something to do about like waiting for something, and they were advertising Sonic the Hedgehog. But the video that they put up was like, it was Sonic 2 and he was underwater. But there was a rating on it, but it didn't say what the game was. And I thought, wait, why are they just randomly throwing in like a video of Sonic with a rating and it's Sonic 2? Because like, I know Sonic 2 and all the other Sonic games are on Xbox, but like, why is it just there? Is this about Sonic Origins? Because like, we haven't heard anything.
Yeah, that's like the only thing I can think of that maybe Xbox showed more like current information on Origins. That is weird.
Did you find it?
No, I'm looking it up right now. That's so Xbox Sonic tweet.
Yeah, it was completely random that Xbox just tweeted out a clip from Sonic 2, and I don't know, it just happened so randomly.
Was it from the movie? You think maybe it was like to advertise the movie?
I don't think so, because if they were going to, they would have been mentioning like, you know, Sonic, the Sonic movie itself, and showing
Do you
like
still
the movie
have
Sonic.
like, was anybody able to screen grab the original tweet?
Is it gone?
What day did they post it?
I think it was a few days ago.
Yeah, I'm looking through right now.
'Cause-
Oh yeah, it's right there. It says when someone's speech goes long at the Oscars, they could always play the Sonic Countdown music to speed them up. Okay, they're just memeing.
yeah, I know they're just memeing, but like,
Why
it's
that
just
specifically?
Yeah, why that specifically? Because like it shows like a random rating, and like people notice right away, like, wait, is this Sonic Origins? Because like obviously there are other collections like the Genesis collection and all that stuff. So like they wouldn't do anything from there because it's completely outdated.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at it right now. And some people are thinking it's confirming Microsoft might buy Sega. Yeah, and some people are saying like it's Origins.
Yeah,
that is pretty interesting. Like they chose that specifically to tweet.
Yeah, I just wanted to like bring that up real quick because I was like, that's so random and so weird. I mean, like, I'm cool.
Someone in Xbox marketing is just a huge Sonic fan.
I mean, I wouldn't mind, but
yeah, that'd be kind of, I don't know, the whole idea of Sega getting bought by Microsoft, I think is actually really interesting. But yeah, because I just watched like this documentary on Paramount Plus about the console wars with Sega and Nintendo, and it was pretty neat just kind of seeing how Sega of America kind of like legit hands down made Sega relevant.
yeah, I agree.
I mean, Sega's still like they still make really good games. Like they're one of the best publishers in terms of like their IPs that they have, and Sega buying Atlas is a huge power move as a RPG developer.
I think I think that it would be nice if Sega was bought like by Xbox, or yeah, just Xbox, because I think it would help Sega complete some of the projects that they've always wanted to do. Since I'm pretty sure you're well aware, but like what they say in interviews is that like they keep losing people who work on their games, or like
Yeah,
or like
they bleed talent.
yeah, like
It's crazy. Like a lot of the people that worked on the Sonic games, like the good ones that the fans like to go back to, left to go work on Mario or other
yeah,
Nintendo IP. So they definitely have a poaching problem.
yeah,
A lot of Sega devs is getting poached by Nintendo. They're like, "Hey, dog, come over here."
yeah. Sega, they're kind of in a little bit of a hot water, I would say. I kind of find that a little bit unfortunate because like we love these games, we love what they work on, but like it must be something like in the background that tells people like, yeah, I don't want to work here anymore, or like I don't want to be part of this project anymore. Because
It's
like,
probably just like this is kind of like why I think the quality of Sonic Team has declined over the years. Is it might just be franchise fatigue. Like they're just tired of working on the same thing over and over and over, and they kind of want to work on something new.
I can see that too.
And maybe there's been a lot of controversy about the like dev studios being exposed for shitty working conditions. So maybe Sega has a working condition issue, but that's just conjecture, the speculation. Not trying to confirm that that's true.
Yeah,
But who knows? It could be a variety of things that is causing like Sega devs to leave. It's crazy that happens like so frequently with that company.
yeah. I just wanted to bring that up because I thought like, what happened?
Oh
I
man,
kind of want to see
speaking of
that.
Xbox buying stuff, did you hear about like the whole like U.S. government that now is trying to step in over the acquisition of Activision?
Wait, why? What? Why?
Yeah, so okay, so like this whole console war fanboy stuff is hilarious. It's like you got PlayStation fanboys reaching out to U.S. senators and the president himself to like have them look at the acquisition to try to stop Microsoft from getting Activision. Then you have Elizabeth Warren talking about Microsoft's acquisition. I'm just like,
This must have been an April Fool's joke or something. There's no way.
I don't think Elizabeth Warren has a good sense of humor, but but dude, it's crazy. It's definitely interesting. Like Microsoft still has 9 more months to try to nail this deal, and I feel like this as it gets closer and closer, just the heat is going to continually be turned up on them about this acquisition because it is like unprecedented. It's huge. It's a huge deal that has never been done in the gaming industry, like ever.
I hope so. I really do hope that Activision gets bought. Because, like, that would be really unfortunate if
Hey,
it
what's up,
doesn't go
Seven
through.
Devin? Just want to shout out Seven Devin in the chat. Doing pretty good. Just covering topics right now. We're discussing Game Pass versus Xbox. I mean, Game Pass versus Xbox. Game Pass versus PlayStation.
Hey, what's up, my fellow Yoshi main? How are you doing?
We got Yoshi's in the chat.
Yeah, we have Yoshi's in the chat right now.
Oh, he's gonna throw eggs at us.
Hey, eggs are good for you. We're doing good. We're doing good.
Yeah, we're doing good. We actually been I think we've been doing pretty good this episode, man. I gotta say, I think you're a really good host, Scott. You've been doing well.
Oh, I thank you. Either eggs or a boomerang.
I'd rather take the eggs. I don't want the boomerang.
Oh yes, you play Link. I forgot.
That's funny.
But yeah,
I didn't mean to have you lose your thought, my guy.
Oh yeah. No. I was just saying like I was gonna give a quick rundown of like what we covered already. So we talked about the new subscription that PlayStation came up with that we don't really think is anything.
I just think it doesn't go far enough. I just think it doesn't go far enough. Like as a service, it just seems like PlayStation wants to copy Xbox, but they don't want to fully commit to like what Xbox has created because to be fair, like Xbox has more money to burn. Like they can like have their games released day one. They can like give you all the other stuff that they've created, because if it's not profitable, who cares? They just want to establish themselves as the market leader. Like they just like how consoles are anyway. Like consoles are usually sold at a loss all the time.
Did you I'm sorry to say this like in the middle of this, but are you aware that Xbox like kind of benefits the people who get their games on Game Pass? Like they pay some studios to like
definitely they pay a upfront cost to get those games to be on their console. Yeah, they do that. So it not only like helps. It's so funny because like it's kind of hard not to see the fanboy talk on Twitter if you have your feeds listed for gaming stuff.
True.
But it's so funny how you'll see some like PlayStation fanboys have these long Twitter threads that are like 10 fucking entries in length, having this like ominous Game Pass conspiracy theory of like Xbox is not your friend. They're not making Game Pass to be good for you. It's like, no shit. They're a business. They want to make money. And it just so happens that their business model also benefits gamers and certain publishers that might not feel confident that their game can launch and sell well. So if I'm a developer and I'm like, yo, Xbox has this Game Pass thing and they'll pay me like up front for maybe like 2 months worth of sales, why would I not want to do that?
Wow. I'm just going to say, if you're on Twitter, you will never hear the end of it.
Definitely. But, Twitter is not a real place. I'm going to get that tattooed. Twitter's not a real place. Have it be a tramp stamp right above the ass crack.
if you talk about PlayStation or Xbox on Twitter, you will never hear the end of it. You're always going to get at least 5 comments saying, "Oh, Xbox sucks," or "Oh, PlayStation sucks." Dude, I don't care.
Yeah, and if you cover video games in general, any opinion you take, you'll be a fanboy of everyone and not a fanboy of everyone at the same time.
They'll either call you a Nintendrone or just, I don't know, I guess like nothing else.
That's all they call you.
Yeah.
But I like Xbox. Oh, you're a Nintendrone. Yeah, it's silly, but I think we both came to agreement, and I'm sure most of the internet has come to an agreement that the PlayStation Plus extra services that they offer is definitely not. I personally think it doesn't go far enough. I think it's like a half step so that they can point to something that they have that could be seen as a comparative Game Pass, but it's not even close to what Game Pass offers in its entirety.
Yeah, 100% agree with you.
Yeah.
The things that we did cover, sorry to move on real quick, is we covered
the triple-decker wallet wrecker.
The triple-decker wallet wrecker.
That's a good Sony. One I made. But yeah, I definitely think we covered as much as we could on the subject of Xbox versus the PlayStation Premium service.
Yeah. We also covered about the Sonic movie. Hopefully we will have Jim Carrey in the third movie, but if it isn't, I'll be okay with it. Maybe, and not so sure.
But we got to talk about the big title. Ooh, the big Nintendo title that I was really excited for. I'm sure everyone's been excited for.
Oh,
that got delayed. The Breath of the Wild 2 sequel.
Yeah, sequel to Breath of the Wild.
Aonuma came out and said, "Wait, bitches."
Check out my haircut real quick. I'm sorry to tell you guys.
He looked fresh, right?
Yeah, he was looking really good.
He looked fresh. I was like, "Hey, Aonuma-san, yo, where you get your haircut at? Who's your barber? Like, tell me what's up." Yeah, he looked good. He looked good. But we got the unfortunate news via Nintendo video. And that's one thing I do like about Nintendo is like they've really nailed the video format to give out news to their fans. Like I gotta say that. Like once they left E3 and they decided to do the directs, I think they've been very successful in that.
Yeah, I kind of agree, because at least it's not like, an apology video like, I'm sorry, I messed up, I will do better. This is not hard.
I'll do my with the webcam on, like the YouTubers that make apology videos.
Don't forget the tears. Don't forget the sigh at the beginning.
He needs the tears. He needs the tears. He needs to pick up the dog. He needs to have a dog to pet while he's crying.
The quiet background.
Yep.
the saggy shadow eyes.
but yeah, so I'll let you go first on, I guess, how you took the news. Like, what do you think that's like delaying it, or anything else you want to talk about? Just hearing it, like, how do you feel about the Breath of the Wild 2 sequel? Like, well, Breath of the Wild sequel, they haven't released an official title yet.
True.
But what do you think? Like, why they delayed it, or how do you feel about it?
I am okay with it. I'm not too upset. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be the same people who worked on the first one, including the Monolith Software people who are on a roll making games already. So I'm not too upset. They've made a bajillion games already.
You think Monosoft is helping?
Yeah, they helped with the first one, and they've been helping with the Zelda series for years already.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
it's so funny because I just started playing. Well, I won't say just started, but I dabbled into Xenoblade 1 because my roommate was really trying to get me into it.
Yeah, you should totally get yourself indulged in Xenoblade Chronicles. It's not too hard. It's just there's a lot going on.
Yeah.
I would suggest not to get too invested in side quests unless you really want to like try to get that 100%. But real quick here, Seventh Devon here says, I feel like the sequel could be a good game. I feel like the new Link outfit is odd.
He got that stank arm.
He got that. Have you seen his hand? Have you seen his hand?
Link took advantage of that P-Hub deal on Valentine's Day. That's all I gotta say.
Did he get like a... That we were talking about Breath of the Wild 2 for a moment. No, we are. We
still are. But hey, you mentioned the stank arm, all right? Like, yeah, it is a pretty interesting character design. I like long hair Link. He looks badass.
He looks sexy.
So the sexy Link, like we couldn't get Linkle, but we got the next best thing. So
yeah, Nintendo said, yeah, we're not too happy about having Linkle as like an actual character, but we'll take any Link just as long as it's Link.
Yeah, man, Link got that Orochimaru stain.
Link won the Naruto curse market.
Yeah.
Imagine Link with a Sharingan.
God, he'd be busted. He'd be busted. I mean, isn't like canonically this Link doesn't have a Triforce, like the Triforce power?
I don't know.
Yeah, because I know like in some of the diehard Zelda circle, they're like theorizing, like Link's stank arm might be because of the demise curse.
Actually, that's actually a kind of good theory, because maybe he got tainted with malice or something.
Yeah, like when you fought Calamity Ganon in the first game, like something happened where he got affected by it somehow. And I was saying like, yo, what if, Nintendo does this where Breath of the Wild becomes a trilogy and Link actually becomes Ganon, like human form Ganon, and you use Zelda in the third game to save him.
Might as well be a trilogy. We have that Warriors game.
Oh, please don't remind me.
Technically, it is a trilogy.
Yeah. Oh no. Are you doing that? Like how people count Mario Kart Tour as Mario Kart 9?
Please. I don't like Mario Kart Tour.
It counts, Scott. It counts.
It shouldn't count, okay?
But it does.
I mean, it's included in the DLC for Mario Kart 8. I can't really argue with that.
Man, I've been thinking about what could they call the sequel. Do you think they're gonna just go with a number title and make it easy, or is it gonna have a subtext?
If they do an actual number, that would be technically the first, well, technically second Zelda game, It actually
Zelda
has a
2?
number. Yeah, because Zelda 2.
That was in grandpa era though, bro.
I'm showing my age already.
Right? Yeah, because I was saying like the first one's called Breath of the Wild. Do you think they'll probably try to keep that whole like breath, like
A breath of fresh air.
A breath of Febreze or something like that. I was saying like maybe like Breath of Calamity or something, or like that. That would be kind of cool, but I'm not sure.
Sounds like he has bad breath.
Breath of Five Gum.
What it feels to chew 5 gun.
But yeah, I'm right there with you, Joe. Just kind of getting back on topic. Like I'm the master for Breeze. Okay, that's enough, chat. That's enough. We're trying to stay on topic here. These goons came in to derail our conversation, Scott. How could you allow this?
What?
Where the mods at?
There is a mod.
I agree with you. I'm totally okay with the delay. That Miyamoto quote will always be gold. Like, you know, a good game, a delayed game has a chance to be good, but a bad game is forever bad. So, yeah, I'm okay with it. But a part of me is just like, man, like this game seems super ambitious since they're taking the game, not only having it be open world, but they're having like the sky element, like you know, just being able to explore like the upper limits of Hyrule as well. So a part of me just kind of just hopes Nintendo finally at least hints at a Switch Pro or something, because you know I want to play this game at a really good frame rate. I don't want to have to use Yuzu anymore.
There was it's weird that you mentioned that, because there was a small mention thanks to a NVIDIA leak that there was a Nintendo leak in that NVIDIA leak.
Yeah, like it mentioned like NV2 or something like that, right?
Yeah, like a Switch version 2 or something. Not like the version 2 that, you know, people unknowingly used to mod their Switch with, but like an actual version 2 with like 4K resolution and improved performance and all that stuff. So I don't know if, you know, it means that we will get another Switch, and maybe it'll come with like the Breath of the Wild sequel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm just excited like to see a gameplay demonstration of some sort when we get closer to release, because it seems like the delay isn't too far out. It just got pushed to like spring 2023.
Yeah, that's not too far. I mean, it's just a year from now.
Right?
Yeah, it's just a year from now. That's not too bad.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to it. I can't wait. Like I was actually surprised how much I got into the first one, because I'm not a huge diehard fan of Zelda. I'd probably say the first Zelda that I actually was able to purchase, like, or I begged my mom to get for me, was Twilight Princess. And I know that one gets a bad rep, but I found it pretty enjoyable.
Kind of torn on that statement, but it's okay. Well, okay. Should I elaborate just a little bit?
I thought Skyward Sword was the worst one.
Oh my goodness! Get out of here!
Get out of here!
No, my first purchase was Ocarina of Time. I love it, but I'm not a fan of Twilight Princess just because of like.
Is it too dark?
I mean, the actual lighting of it is pretty dark, but
no,
the story
came out in the Bloom era.
Oh, where everything was Bloom, and like everyone would say, "Oh yeah, this is like the next generation thing," because everything was Bloom back then.
And like shit color.
Yeah, I remember that. Everything is super saturated. No, wait, less saturated. I'm sorry.
Yeah, everything was brown and bloomy.
I was okay with Twilight Princess, just for the sheer fact that it felt like a new Zelda game to mess around with, and I did nothing but just dabble with glitches and bugs and all that stuff.
Yeah.
I was like really invested on the glitch part of the game, but not so much on like the rest of the game. It was fun when I started, but the rest I wasn't really excited for.
Yeah, I mean, it probably just because it was my first Zelda that I actually begged my mom to get me, and it was on the Switch. I mean, the Wii that I was really excited for when I was younger, and then that turned out to just collect dust and shovelware.
The Dark Souls aesthetic Zelda. If you wear the Zora tunic, yeah.
Yeah, I agree. But I mean, I kind of understand like why people were let down with Twilight Princess because like Wind Waker had a banging like art style.
Not Wind Waker.
Wind Waker,
Wind Waker
Wind
had
Waker
a
got
bad
shat on, right?
um I mean when Wind Waker got it really bad in Japan, it didn't sell well at all.
Ouch.
Yeah, because they said like, oh yeah, we don't like this cartoonish Link. You know, he looks.
How did Twilight Princess sell?
It sold a lot actually.
Yeah. See, oh Scott, yeah.
I know. Okay.
No, numbers don't lie.
Boy,
I'm messing up. Like Fortnite would be the best game ever.
It's like me.
No, I maybe like Twilight Princess just hit just right. Like I was an angsty teen. I was like all about that brown era. You know, let's go. And,
I don't mind that. That's fine. That's fine. It's just it's not something I would keep coming back to because there's not really a lot of flexibility and all that stuff that Twilight Princess provides, but in comparison to other Zeldas, not so much. By itself, yeah, for sure. You know, it has a lot of replayability value. It has a lot of value to it entirely. So, like, I'm not saying it's bad. It's definitely not bad. It's really good. It's just not my thing.
But Waggle Tech.
Waggle Tech?
Yeah, it had Waggle Tech, though.
What?
What does that mean? Controls.
Oh, I didn't play it on Wii.
No wonder you don't like it. I played it on Wii.
I played it on GameCube, and then I bought the Wii U version. I thought maybe, you know, it would give me something of different value if I played it on Wii U.
You played the lore accurate version because they had to swap Link's model to be right-handed, but he was left-handed in the other games.
It's both on Wii U.
You can like swap it.
Yeah,
they have like a mirror. They have like a mirror mode.
Yeah, they did the mirror mode. The same thing with Ocarina of Time 3D.
I still haven't played that one.
Ocarina of Time?
No, I played that one. I mean, Ocarina of Time 3D.
Oh, well,
yeah.
Play it because it's there.
Well,
you know,
I will. No, I don't know when I have the time. I have too many games to play, man. There's like too much shit to play.
Well, Ocarina of Time 3D was pretty good. I don't know why it got lower score. It's literally just the same game with updated graphics.
It didn't have the well, it had different graphics, so maybe that's why some people didn't like it.
What?
Even though it's arguably it looks better in my opinion. Like
I mean, to me, it plays a lot better. The only thing that isn't really that good about it is that they patched out some speedrunning glitches in the game, and that's it. But if it wasn't, but like around the time that game came out, or the 3D version, they discovered the wrong warp thing, the wrong warp glitch or whatever, which led to some people learning how to, you know, beat Ocarina of Time in like under 5 minutes.
So destroying the game.
Yeah. So like, technically, they owe it to the 3DS version.
A bigger glitch.
Well, more like exposed it because it was already in the original one. It's just they didn't know.
Yeah. Damn.
Yeah. So like, I mean, like, it's not bad. They definitely owe it to them.
Well, I will definitely give it a shot. Just like the Majora's Mask one. I might emulate it because I haven't touched my 3DS in like years. I'm sure that thing is just collected in dust. Like I have not touched it. Like I beat God, what was that game called? Oh God, it's like the Link to the Past sequel. We go to Lowrule.
Oh, A Link Between Worlds.
Yeah, yeah. I played that one. I found that one pretty good. Did you beat though the like it looked like Link was a like a toy? The Oracle of Seasons one on
He's
Switch?
not. He's not. He's not a toy.
He looks like a toy.
Oh,
The art style.
you mean Link's Awakening DX?
Yeah,
Well, not
did
Link
you beat that
DX.
one?
I haven't even played it yet. I have it, but I haven't even played it yet. I have the Amiibo too.
Scott, look at you.
I'm like I said, I'm way behind.
Your backlog just continues to grow.
I told you, I'm pretty behind.
Yeah, I think Link's Awakening looks amazing. Like I played that and I was just playing it on my TV and I was like, wow, this is a pretty ass game.
Oh shoot! I just realized what time it was. So, I think we should wrap up pretty soon.
Oh wow, it's already 6.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, hey, it was a great episode. Did we cover everything?
Just we missed one thing. We missed one thing, which was the Rivals of Ether thing. Yesterday they announced the sequel, which is Rivals of Ether 2, and
is it in 3D or still 2D?
It's in 2D? It's in 3D. It's essentially going to be. It looks like they added in newer mechanics like ledge grabbing. Finally.
I can't believe they made a platform fighter where you couldn't grab the ledge.
Yeah, right. Same. So they added that. That's as much as I noticed. Maybe there was a shield too. I kind of saw some like green bubble when they were fighting together in that trailer. But that's as far as I know. Okay. And they also announced Dungeons of Ether. It looks like a dungeon kind of crawling
dungeon crawler game with Rivals of Ether characters.
Yeah, but like more expanded on the lore part of Rivals.
Mm-hmm.
Because I saw like a bunch of other characters. Some people said like, hey, if it would be okay if we could mod the game to add in like custom characters as these RPG characters. It would be kind of cool if we had like a custom Cloud or custom Ronald McDonald in there. Yeah. Yeah.
That Happy Meal fucking you up. Well, yeah, I guess we'll wrap things up. Maybe we can cover the Rivals things like really quickly in the beginning of the next time we get to do a podcast together.
Yeah.
But I'm not big on Rivals, so I'd have to look into that, read up on what's new. Because I tried it out and I just couldn't get into it.
Yeah, honestly, Smash clones are kind of hit or miss with me.
Yeah, Smash clones are hit and miss. Like they're either like they're not even like really good. They're just like they're okay or they're trash. That's my rating for a lot of Smash clones. They're either okay or they're trash. I haven't had I played a Smash clone where I'm like, this shit gonna make me not play Smash.
Oh, be careful what you say. It might, mess up some people on what they like about their Smash clone. Some say it's even better than Smash.
Clone is like it doesn't deserve to exist. It's fine. You can have your Smash clone, but I'm just like, I don't know. It's just weird, dude. I think I'm just like a super like I'm one of those Smash players that really likes to use a GameCube controller, and just playing with something else feels awkward. It's like when you use your left hand when you do you know what.
Do you remember what was it, that game? It was this game that was made on Steam, and it was a clone of Smash Brothers.
Slap City?
No, not Slap City. It's canceled. It got like taken off of Steam because they couldn't support the game anymore. I think it was called not Revolt. It was something called like Icon. I think it was called Icon. And
why'd they cancel it? What happened? It was just
why they cancel it?
Yeah,
they ran out of funding. Because
damn.
So like what happened was
when the real life hits the game. Oh no!
Right. I believe what happened was, it was the team behind Project M, and they're like, "Hey, we want to make our own game," because Nintendo was coming after us with, "Hey, don't host tournaments with that mod."
Yeah.
don't host these kind of games.
the Nintendo ninjas were putting them in their sniper reticles.
Exactly. Oh, Brawl Out. We don't talk about Brawl Out.
We don't talk about Brawl Out.
Exactly. Okay. Stories. I guess small story time. I played. I wanted to play Brawl Out.
The cursed one.
It is the cursed one. My boyfriend wanted to play Brawl Out, and I was like, okay, sure. You know, looks like a nice Smash clone. It comes with his favorite character, the character from Guacamelee, and it had like one of my kind of favorite characters. I wasn't really too sure, and I was like, hey, it's on sale. I'm gonna go buy it. I bought it. I don't like it. It was like all buggy and glitchy, like.
That just sounds like me with every platform fighter that I play that's not Smash.
Exactly. Like
I'm like, let me try this.
It just tried to be Melee, and I was like, I don't want Melee. We have Melee.
Yeah, that's the thing too. It's like it has this like there's like this middle ground where it becomes like way too sweaty or like not sweaty enough. So it's weird. I just think like Smash hits that perfect medium, you know?
Yeah, I think that's what's really the overlooked aspect of what other platformer fighters are focusing a little bit too hard on is
the competitive
melee
aspect, right?
The competitive melee, thing, because people play melee a lot.
Yeah, but like I think what they need to focus on first is just interesting characters, like the roster.
Yeah, I think
like the roster comes first. You can have the game be competitive, but you also got to have like something that brings in casual fans too, like, and I used to be a diehard sweaty melee guy, but just over the years I realized like that's what it also takes too. If you want your game to be fun and enjoyable, is like the appeal of Smash has always been that it's easy to pick up and play, but if you really want to get good at it, it has that depth that you can get to if you really want to, grind it out.
Yeah.
But we should wrap it up because we can be talking about this for hours.
True, very, very true. That's entirely. Yeah. That's a whole podcast on its own, really.
Well, Scott, I guess you go ahead and give your info for anyone that wants to find you on platforms other than Twitch, and then I'll go after you and sign out.
All right then. Well, guys, I am Scott2Be. You guys can find me on Twitter, which is Scott2Be without the numbers, but just write down as actual words. And Scott2Be on YouTube, which I usually do upload these on YouTube as soon as I'm done editing them.
Yeah, and I'll try to, what I'll try to do to kind of help lessen your workload is I'll go through, listen, and try to timestamp things. So if you want to add timestamps and make like a pinned comment and also throw it in the description, we can do that.
Okay. Yeah.
But yeah, my name is Izzy. My Twitch is IzziDoesIt. You can also find me on Twitter at IzziDoesIt. And currently my YouTube is IzziTheGamer, but I'm probably going to change that to IzziDoesIt as well, just to make sure that it's all consistent on all my places that I post stuff. Haven't really posted anything new on the channel for a long time, but trying to get back into it. But it's been great being able to be a co-host on this show. And I think anybody who came and said some nice words in the chat. But until next time, we usually try to do this every Saturday. Sometimes Scott might do a bonus one throughout the week. But we tend to try to cover gaming news every Saturday. But till next time, it's been a pleasure. Peace out, guys. You take care.
All right. See you guys later. Thanks for watching.